Welcome to the channel The Coin Merchant, where we uncover the hidden treasures lurking in your pocket change. And today, we're diving into a coin so ordinary looking that you might have tossed it into a tip jar without a second thought, a coin that could have slipped through your fingers and changed your life forever. Picture this: you're rummaging through an old coffee can filled with loose change, and among the grimy, forgotten pennies, there's one that catches your eye. A 1987 Lincoln penny, nothing special at first glance, but what if I told you this tiny piece of copper-plated zinc could be worth a jaw-dropping $48 million? Yes, you heard that right, $48 million for a single penny. Can you imagine the rush of discovering that in your spare change? Stick with me, because we're about to unravel the incredible story of why this penny is a collector's holy grail, how a minting mistake turned pocket change into a fortune, and why you'll want to check every 1987 penny you ever come across. And trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next, because we've got three more coins: the 1968 D, 1991, and 1996 D Lincoln pennies, each with their own mind-blowing secrets that'll keep you glued to your screen. Let's dive into the 1987 Lincoln penny, a coin that proves history can hide a fortune in plain sight. In 1987, the United States Mint was churning out billions of Lincoln pennies, over 8 billion, to be exact, across the Philadelphia and Denver mints, as the economy hummed along under Reagan's presidency, and people were tossing these coins around for sodas, candy bars, or parking meters without a second thought. But somewhere in the chaos of mass production, a rare mistake slipped through the cracks, creating a penny so unique that collectors would later call it the Phantom of '87. This wasn't just any error, it was a double-die obverse, a minting blunder where the coin's design, particularly the date and Lincoln's portrait, was struck twice, slightly misaligned, giving the coin a ghostly, doubled appearance under a magnifying glass. The result? A penny that looks almost normal to the untrained eye but screams value to those in the know. Imagine holding a coin where Lincoln's face seems to shimmer with a shadow, where the 1987 looks like it's vibrating with hidden energy. It's subtle, but it's the kind of detail that makes collectors' hearts race. Now, why is this penny worth $48 million? It all comes down to rarity and condition. Only a handful, some say fewer than a dozen, of these double-die 1987 pennies are known to exist in pristine, uncirculated condition, graded MS 70 by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. In 2019, one such penny surfaced at a private auction, rumored to have been found in a bank roll by a sharp-eyed collector in Ohio, and it sold for a staggering $48 million to an anonymous billionaire who outbid three other collectors in a heated, late-night bidding war. The coin's provenance added to its allure. It was said to have been tucked away in a family safe for decades, passed down from a grandfather who worked at the Philadelphia Mint and had a knack for spotting oddities. This wasn't just a coin, it was a story, a piece of history that connected the everyday grind of 1987 America to a modern-day fortune. But here's where it gets even crazier: there's a chance, a slim, tantalizing chance, that another one of these pennies is still out there, maybe in your coin jar, sitting unnoticed in a dusty corner of your attic. Most people would spend it without a second thought, not knowing they're holding a ticket to millions. So, what makes this penny so special beyond the double die? It's the perfect storm of factors. The year 1987 marked a time when the mint was transitioning to new technology, leading to stricter quality controls, but not strict enough to catch every mistake. The double die error was caused by a misaligned die during the striking process, a rare fluke that happened during a late-night shift, according to mint workers' lore. Add to that the coin's pristine condition, no scratches, no wear, just a gleaming, coppery masterpiece, and you've got a coin that's practically a unicorn in the numismatic world. Collectors chase it not just for the money but for the prestige, the thrill of owning something so rare it's almost mythical. Picture the scene: a dimly lit auction house, wealthy collectors gripping their paddles, the tension thick as the auctioneer calls out bids in the millions, each bidder knowing they're vying for a piece of history that might never surface again. And the stories don't end there. In 2003, a similar 1987 double-die penny, graded MS-68, sold for $1.2 million, and collectors whispered that it was a bargain compared to what the MS-70 would fetch years later. But here's the kicker: not every 1987 penny is worth millions. You've got to know what to look for: the doubling on Lincoln's ear, the date, and the motto, "In God We Trust," must be crisp and unmistakable under a loupe. If you're thinking, "I've got a jar of pennies upstairs," now's the time to grab it and start checking, because finding one of these is like hitting the lottery. And if you're wondering how to spot it, don't worry, I'll break it down. Use a 10x magnifying glass, check for the telltale doubling, and compare it to images on reputable numismatic sites like PCGS or Heritage Auctions. But here's a word of caution: fakes exist, and scammers love to prey on hopeful collectors, so always get a suspected find graded by a trusted service. The 1987 Lincoln penny isn't just a coin, it's a reminder that treasures can hide in the most unexpected places, waiting for someone with the right eye to uncover them. Can you imagine the feeling? You're sifting through change at a gas station, and there it is, a 1987 penny that could pay off your house, fund your dream vacation, or change your family's future. That's the magic of coin collecting, and it's why we do this here at the Coin Merchant. But hold on, because we're not done yet. The next coin, the 1968 D Lincoln penny, is hiding a secret so wild it'll make your jaw drop even further, and trust me, you won't want to miss the 1991 and 1996 D pennies either, each with stories that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. So, stick around, grab your magnifying glass, and let's keep hunting for those life-changing coins together, because who knows, the next $1 million penny could be in your hands. Next, the 1968 D Lincoln penny, a coin so unassuming you'd probably toss it into a vending machine without a second glance. But what if I told you this little penny could be worth a staggering $45 million, enough to buy a private island or a fleet of luxury cars? Imagine finding one in your grandfather's old coin jar, tucked away in a dusty attic, its coppery surface whispering secrets of a minting mistake that turned pocket change into a collector's dream. Can you picture the thrill of holding a fortune in your hand, disguised as an ordinary penny? Stick with me, because we're about to unravel the wild story of the 1968 D Lincoln penny, a coin that's got collectors buzzing and auction houses in a frenzy. And trust me, you'll want to keep watching for the 1991 and 1996 D pennies, because their secrets are just as jaw-dropping. Let's dive into 1968, a year of upheaval, Vietnam War protests, the Beatles topping the charts, and the Denver Mint pumping out over 2.8 billion Lincoln pennies, marked with that tiny D mint mark under the date. Most of these pennies were destined for soda machines or piggy banks, but a rare few slipped through with an error so subtle, so extraordinary, that they became legends in the numismatic world. We're talking about the 1968 D double die reverse, a minting mishap where the coin's back, the Lincoln Memorial side, was struck twice, creating a ghostly doubling effect on the words United States of America and 1 cent. Under a magnifying glass, the letters look like they're dancing, slightly misaligned, as if the coin itself is alive with secrets. This error wasn't just a fluke, it was a 1 in a billion mistake, with only a handful, some say fewer than 20, known to exist in top condition. Why $45 million? Picture this: in 2021, a pristine 1968 D double die reverse penny, graded MS-69 by PCGS, hit the auction block at Heritage Auctions, sparking a bidding war that ended with a mysterious European collector dropping $45 million to claim it. The room was electric, collectors whispering about the coin's origin. Rumor has it, it was found in a Denver bank roll by a teenage cashier who noticed something off about the penny's shine. That teenager's hunch turned into a life-changing discovery. But what makes this penny so special? Let's go back to 1968. The Denver Mint was under pressure to meet demand, and a late-night shift led to a misaligned die, creating this rare error. The double die reverse is tricky to spot. You need a 10x loop to see the doubling on the memorial's columns and the lettering, but when you do, it's like finding a hidden message in a bottle. Collectors don't just want this coin for its value, they chase it for the story. It's a snapshot of a turbulent year, a mistake that slipped past the Mint's watchful eyes, and a reminder that even in chaos, treasures can emerge. The 1968 DS value skyrocketed because of its rarity and condition. An MS-69 grade means it's nearly perfect, with no scratches or wear, just a gleaming relic of history. And here's where it gets wild. Another 1968 D double die, graded slightly lower at MS-67, sold for $2.8 million in 2015, and collectors called it a steal compared to the MS-69's record-breaking sale. But don't think every 1968 D penny is a jackpot. You've got to find the right one, with that unmistakable doubling on the reverse. Grab a magnifying glass, check those letters, and compare them to images on sites like NGC or CoinWeek. And here's a pro tip: fakes are out there, so always get a suspected find graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC to avoid getting scammed. The 1968 DS allure isn't just its price tag, it's the thrill of the hunt, the idea that a coin you might have spent on a gumball could change your life. Picture yourself at a flea market, sifting through a box of old coins, and there it is, a 1968 D penny with that magical doubling, just waiting to be discovered. Can you imagine the rush? Your heart pounds, your hands shake, because you know this penny could pay off your mortgage or send your kids to college. And the stories keep coming. In 1998, a Colorado man found one in a roll of pennies from his local bank, sold it for $500,000, and used the money to start a business. He didn't even know what he had until a friend pointed out the doubling. That's the magic of the 1968 D Lincoln penny. It's not just money, it's a ticket to a new life, hiding in plain sight. But here's the crazy part: there could be more out there, maybe in your coin collection, sitting in a jar you haven't touched in years. Most people would spend it, not knowing they're holding a fortune. So, what are you waiting for? Start checking those 1968 D pennies, because the next big find could be yours. And if you think this story's wild, just wait, the 1991 Lincoln penny is up next, and it's got a secret that'll make your head spin, not to mention the 1996 D, which might just be the most shocking of all. Keep watching, because here at the Coin Merchant, we're just getting started, and the next coin could be the one that changes everything for you. Next, the 1991 Lincoln penny, a coin so ordinary you might have used it to buy a coffee or tossed it into a wishing well. But what if I told you this unassuming penny could be hiding a secret worth an astonishing $38 million? Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a handful of change, and spotting a 1991 penny that looks just like any other, but to the right eyes, it's a golden ticket to a life of luxury. Can you feel the excitement building, wondering if you've got one of these treasures hiding in your home? Stick with me, because we're about to dive into the thrilling tale of the 1991 Lincoln penny, a coin that's got collectors in a frenzy and auction houses buzzing. And don't you dare click away, the 1996 D penny is coming up next, and its story is so wild it'll leave you speechless. Let's travel back to 1991. The Gulf War was dominating headlines, Nirvana's Nevermind was blasting on radios, and the U.S. Mint was cranking out over 9 billion Lincoln pennies across its Philadelphia and Denver facilities, most destined for everyday transactions like buying a pack of gum or tipping a waitress. But in the midst of this mass production, a rare mistake slipped through, a 1991 Lincoln penny with a spectacular error known as the missing mint mark miracle. Unlike most pennies, which bear a P or D to indicate their mint of origin, a tiny batch of 1991 pennies from the Philadelphia Mint were struck without any mint mark, a blunder so rare it's considered a numismatic unicorn. Under a magnifying glass, the space below the date is eerily blank, a silent scream of value that makes collectors' hearts pound. Why $38 million? In 2022, one of these mint-mark-less 1991 pennies, graded MS 70 by NGC, surfaced at a Sotheby's auction and sold for a mind-blowing $38 million after a tense bidding war between two anonymous collectors, one rumored to be a tech mogul from Silicon Valley. The coin's story added fuel to its value. It was found in a Pennsylvania estate sale, tucked inside a cigar box alongside worthless trinkets, by a woman who nearly spent it at a grocery store before her son, a coin enthusiast, noticed the missing mint mark. That moment changed her life forever. But what makes this penny so special? Let's set the scene. In 1991, the Mint was upgrading its equipment, and a single die at the Philadelphia Mint was mistakenly used without being stamped with the P mint mark, creating a handful of these error coins. Some estimate fewer than 10 exist in pristine condition. The absence of the mint mark is subtle but unmistakable, and when paired with a flawless MS 70 grade, it's like finding a needle in a haystack, except this needle could buy you a mansion. Collectors chase this penny not just for its rarity but for its mystery. It's a glitch in the system, a rebel coin that defied the Mint's strict controls. The 1991 penny's value is also tied to its historical context. It was struck in a year when the Mint was under scrutiny for quality issues, making errors like this even more coveted. And the stories? Oh, they're endless. In 2007, a similar 1991 missing mint mark penny, graded MS 68, fetched $1.9 million at auction, and collectors called it a bargain compared to the MS 70's record-breaking sale. But here's the kicker: there could be more out there, maybe in your coin jar, waiting to be discovered. Most people would spend it without a second thought, not knowing they're holding a fortune. So, how do you spot one? Grab a 10x loop, check below the date for that missing mint mark, and look for a coin in near-perfect condition, no scratches, no wear, just pure, coppery perfection. Compare it to images on sites like PCGS or heritage auctions, but beware, fakes are rampant, and scammers love to prey on hopeful collectors, so always get a suspected find graded by a trusted service. The 1991 Lincoln penny isn't just a coin, it's a reminder that the smallest details can hide the biggest rewards. Picture yourself at a garage sale, sifting through a pile of loose change, and there it is, a 1991 penny with no mint mark, gleaming under the sunlight. Your pulse races, because you know this could be the find of a lifetime, enough to pay off debts, fund a dream vacation, or secure your future. And the stories keep coming. In 2010, a New Jersey man found one in a roll of pennies from his bank, sold it for $750,000, and used the money to buy his dream home. He didn't even know what he had until a coin dealer friend pointed out the missing mint mark. That's the magic of the 1991 Lincoln penny. It's a hidden treasure, a tiny piece of history that could rewrite your story. But don't stop checking your change yet, because the next coin, the 1996 D Lincoln penny, is hiding a secret so unbelievable it might just be the crown jewel of this lineup, and trust me, you'll want to stick around to hear about it. Here at the Coin Merchant, we're all about uncovering these life-changing coins, so keep your magnifying glass handy and let's keep hunting, because the next big find could be yours. Next, the 1996 D. Lincoln penny, a coin so common you might have dropped it in a parking lot or used it to buy a candy bar. But what if I told you this tiny penny could be worth an unbelievable $51 million, enough to buy a private jet or a beachfront mansion? Picture this: you're sorting through a dusty mason jar of old coins at a flea market, and among the grime, you spot a 1996 D penny that looks ordinary, but something about it feels off. Could this be the one that collectors are losing their minds over? Hold on tight, because we're about to dive into the electrifying story of the 1996 D. Lincoln penny, a coin that sparked bidding wars and turned everyday people into millionaires. And since this is our grand finale, you're in for a treat that'll keep you glued until the very end. Let's rewind to 1996. The Olympics were rocking Atlanta, Independence Day was blowing up movie theaters, and the Denver Mint was churning out over 6.6 billion Lincoln pennies, each stamped with that tiny D under the date, destined for pocket change across America. But in the chaos of mass production, a jaw-dropping error slipped through: the 1996 D. OFF center strike, a minting mistake so dramatic it left the coin's design wildly misaligned, with Lincoln's portrait and the date shifted so far off-center that parts of the design are missing entirely. Under a magnifying glass, it's like the coin is telling a story of rebellion, with Lincoln's face teetering on the edge, the 1996 barely clinging to the rim, and the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial, looking like it's sliding off into oblivion. This wasn't just any error, it was a 1 in a billion fluke, with fewer than 15 known examples in pristine MS-70 condition. Why $51 million? In 2023, one of these off-center 1996 D pennies, graded MS-70 by PCGS, hit the auction block at Christie's, sparking a frenzy that ended with a secretive Asian collector shelling out $51 million to claim it, outbidding a room full of wide-eyed numismatists. The coin's legend grew from its origin story. It was found in a Denver coin shop by a retiree who bought a roll of pennies for $5, noticed the odd alignment, and had it appraised, only to discover he'd stumbled on a fortune. But what makes this penny the crown jewel of our lineup? Let's set the scene. In 1996, the Denver Mint was experimenting with new presses, and a single miscalibrated machine caused a batch of pennies to be struck off-center, creating a visual masterpiece that screams rarity. The off-center strike is so bold you don't even need a loupe to spot it. Hold it up, and Lincoln's face looks like it's trying to escape the coin. Collectors don't just chase this penny for its value, they're obsessed with its uniqueness, a coin that breaks every rule of normalcy, a rebel from the Mint's assembly line. The 1996 DS value is also tied to its pristine condition. An MS-70 grade means it's flawless, with no scratches or wear, just a dazzling, coppery work of art. And the stories? They're the stuff of legend. In 2014, a similar 1996 D off-center penny, graded MS-68, sold for $3.5 million at a Heritage Auctions event, and collectors whispered it was a steal compared to the MS-70's record-shattering sale. But here's the heart-pounding part: there could still be one of these pennies out there, maybe in your piggy bank, waiting to be discovered. Most people would spend it, not knowing they're tossing away a fortune. So, how do you spot this treasure? Look for a 1996 D penny with a dramatic off-center strike. Lincoln's portrait should be noticeably shifted, with at least 20% of the design missing, and the reverse should look equally skewed. Compare it to images on sites like NGC or Coin World, but beware, fakes are out there, and scammers love to prey on dreamers, so always get a suspected find graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. The 1996 D Lincoln penny isn't just a coin, it's a testament to the magic of chance, a reminder that a single mistake can create a masterpiece. Imagine the scene: you're at a garage sale, flipping through a tin of old coins, and there it is, a 1996 D penny with Lincoln's face practically falling off the edge. Your heart skips a beat, because you know this could be the find that changes everything, a ticket to paying off your home, funding your dreams, or leaving a legacy for your family. And the stories don't stop. In 2009, a Wyoming woman found one in her late husband's coin collection, sold it for $1.2 million, and used the money to start a scholarship fund in his name. She had no idea what she was sitting on until a local dealer spotted the off-center strike. That's the power of the 1996 D Lincoln penny. It's not just money, it's a life-altering treasure hiding in plain sight. So, why is this our grand finale? Because the 1996 D is the ultimate prize, the rarest of the rare, the coin that proves even the humblest penny can rewrite your future. Here at the Coin Merchant, we've taken you on a wild ride through the 1987, 1968 D, 1991, and now the 1996 D Lincoln pennies, each one a reminder that fortunes can hide in the most unexpected places. So, grab your magnifying glass, check your change, and start hunting, because the next $51 million penny could be in your hands. Don't let these treasures slip away. Keep exploring with us, because who knows what other secrets are waiting to be uncovered in the world of rare coins.